Okay, so class A has method void m1, void m2, right? So these two methods are present in class A. So class A will have constructor, this is the default constructor. I will write some message to it so you guys will understand what happens during constructor calls. Default constructor. Okay, so I will type this message here, class A m1 method, and this one is sysout class B m2 method. Okay, so this is the two methods present in class A. One is the m1 and one is the m2. Let me take class B. What class B will do? Extends A, right? And class B has its own method void m3. I will type class B m3 method, right? Now I will make main class object for class B, right? Just type is main over here, main. I will check the main method. So now I will make the object for class B. B object is equal to new B. So this has made the object for class B. Once this will make the object for class B, memory will be created, right? For class B, memory will be created, and whatever present in this class B will be going to that memory space, right? So m1, m2 and m3 both are present in class B. m1 and m2 are present through inheritance, right? So I can, if these m1 and m2 are present in class B, then I can call them also, right? So just try to call them, object dot m1, object dot m2. You can see whatever present in class B, I can see here, right? I am using the drop and down. You can see these three methods are present, right? So because I have made the object for class B, so everything for class B present in class B should be suggested here, right? Okay, but if I do one thing, if I remove this line extends, will that be happening same? No, this will be generating error. What it will be saying? That method m1 is undefined for type B. m1 is not present in type B. Type in class B, in m1 is not present. That means if you have removed the inheritance, by default they are not going to come over this class, right? So in this class there is a constructor, default constructor will be present. Either you write this code or not write this code, this will be defaultly present, right? This will be defaultly present. You can say class B default constructor. Okay, so these things are one point you need to write, that constructor never get inherited, right? If you will perform the inheritance, methods will be coming, values. Suppose I define a, a variable int a is equal to 5, right? So this variable will be coming inside this class, because what inheritance says, properties and behaviors. So inheritance is a concept where a class extends the properties and behavior of another class. So what behavior? Behavior are the methods. We call behaviors to methods, right? And the other thing is that properties. What are the properties? Properties are these variables. So these are the terminologies in Java. Okay, you need to follow that. So once I extended this property, this is coming over here, and I can call them using this object, right? Object dot a. Now a is getting suggested, right? What is the variable? What's error it's giving? Syntax error, variable declaration, local variable. It should maybe wait this out. Leave this. I will be telling this why it's coming. There are some modifications. Leave this right now. I will run this. Class B default. Okay. So guys, leave this point right now. I will explain later, but first need to focus on this oops concept. Okay, it should be printed. Okay, so what's happening here? We are making the object for both calling these all three methods. Although these three methods are not present over here, but only M3 method is present, still we are able to call these M1 and M2 method which are present in class A, and these methods are coming to class B as through inheritance, right? So this way we can do it, and suppose I make it public, then maybe region dot okay, just leave it now. Why it's giving error? Let's focus on other part first. Okay, so this one, and one more thing we need to remember, that constructor never comes to the class through inheritance. Okay, so constructor is not part of your inheritance process, so don't be confused that white constructor I am not able to call from when I am you cannot call. Constructor is remain in same class only. Okay, once you write this code extends A, you need to think and you need to know that inside every constructor defaultly this code is written. You will not able to see this code, but this code is present inside your constructor by default when you perform this inheritance, right? So once you write this extends A, then by default this will be written inside every constructor only. Don't think that it will be written on your method, right? Suppose there is a parameterized constructor int A, right? So there it will also be written. What it means? It means call a constructor of its superclass which don't have any parameter, right? Call a constructor of its superclass, and which will be the superclass of class B, whichever it will be extending is class A, right? So it will be calling superclass constructor of class A. So suppose I am making 5 over here. It's again the same problem.
Yeah, I don't know. Now when you were say now you are saying it's okay, but when you are speaking continuously, it's breaking for everybody. I think.
Yeah, I can see the messages.
So are you using today not this bad time? Or you are using something other than
Today
that
I
time,
am
or what?
using the mobile data. I have switched the home and temporary basis. I am the some on some place.
Yeah, maybe because of that is the reason. Because of that mobile data,
Yeah,
there is internet up and down is there. Hopefully.
yeah, maybe if I'll change my room, let me see again. Then what happens? Change the room. Now it's okay, guys. So again the same problem.
As of now, fine. You can continue. We'll see.
Okay, okay. Give me a minute.
Yeah.
I have close to the open place.
Yes. Your
Okay,
volume also increased now.
okay, okay. So I was trying to say that still I have not called declared this M1 and M2 method in class B. Still I am able to call them, right? So now I have tell you that just note this point, guys. Don't miss any point just because these are the rules. Points, so you will be difficult to give me the answer, right? Facing difficulty. So what I will do, first I will explain one and then I'll be asking to you guys that if you are able to respond me, right? So what I have done, I have made the object of a class B, right? And I have passed the integer value, right, inside the constructor of class B, right? So here I have passed the integer value of 5. So what is saying, that call a constructor which have one integer value, right, of class B. Okay, so it went to here, and this is one integer present inside this class. Suppose I write a message over here, integer constructor of class B, and here you can see class B default constructor, right? So what it will do, it will come here because just this class have called one integer value constructor, right? So it will be coming here, and by default if you write it or not write it, by default it's written, right? So just first take it at written. Okay, so what it will first come here, and it will say call constructor of superclass, right, with no param. Okay, so it will be calling the constructor of its superclass which don't have any parameter. So it will be going here, right? So once it will be coming here, this is the superclass constructor with no parameter. So first it will print this default constructor. Suppose I write here of class A, so it will be clear on output, right? Then from where it came, it will be going back to that place. So here it will coming, it was gone from here, right? So it will be coming to this integer constructor of class B. Okay, so it will print this. So is it clear to everybody? Default constructor of class A and integer constructor of class B. Is it clear to everybody or?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good.
Okay. Okay. Now what I will do, last week I have covered this concept. So suppose in this class I have a constructor with one string parameter, string name, and here it will print name, right? So here I will call this Vandan, and here I will write this. Now this will be constructor chaining, full constructor chaining. If anybody is able to answer this, we can say that he has learned the constructor chaining quite beautifully. So anybody wants to answer this?
I can try.
Okay.
Lakshmi.
Okay, Lakshmi.
Can you show me this? Okay.
Okay.
Now we have called the integer, right? Okay. Now it will go to the class B first. So and here super one, then that means it is going to the class A with the integer.
No, this is not the integer, it's a string.
Oh, sorry. But it is calling super, right? And inside that integer.
Yeah.
So and after that it came to the line number 10, and here it is calling the default constructor. That means it is going to the line number 6. So it will print the default constructor of the class A, and after that it will print the line number 13.
Okay.
I mean, this is what I'm thinking. I'm not sure.
Just follow the rules, you will be thinking whatever the right if you follow the rules. Now after that it will be printing this line, right? So what will again I will explain what will happen. It will call the constructor of class B which has one integer parameter, right? So it will be coming to class B, right? So just because it find one integer parameter constructor, it will be coming here. In first line of the statement is written the Vandan. So as a string parameter, it will try to find out inside its super class constructor which have one string parameter, right? It will come here one string parameter. Now it will find this. This means find the constructor inside the same class. Super means find the constructor inside its parent class, right? So this will find constructor inside super class, sorry, inside same class and sorry guys, and inside same class which has no parameter, because here I have passed no any parameter, right? So it will find the default constructor because the same constructor which has no parameter. So same thing, it find that default constructor of class A, right? So it will print default constructor of class A. Then after it will come here, what value it received? Vandan. So it will print Vandan, right? Now it will be going to the place from here from there it came, right? So just because it's the thumb rule of the any programming language, they whatever function you call after completing its assignment, it comes back to the place, right? So it will be going back to the same place. So now it will be printing this integer constructor of class B. Suppose I don't write it this super, so by default this will be written, right? Now I have overridden by the parameter, but by default the super constructor of default constructor of super class gets called, right? So suppose I don't write this, but this code is written by default, but for only the inheritance process. If this will be not written, so there is no any case, right? But this is never going to be written by default. This you have to write manually. You don't assume that if this super is written by default, then this will be also written by default. No, this works if you write it, otherwise it will never. Although if I write super over here, it's not incorrect. Why it's not incorrect? Just because it's here you can see extends not, no class, right? But this is not incorrect. So it is calling the constructor of its superclass. Is it true? Yes, it's true, because every class in Java by default extends its object class. Object is the superclass of all classes, right? So that's why it's not incorrect. So whatever method will be present, whatever the constructor, default constructor will present inside object class, it will be calling that. So it is not incorrect. Okay, but we don't need to use this any time. Just remove this. Okay, so now this is the your default constructor. So suppose I write this over here. Now suppose I write this over here. If I will write this here, and there is a rule, this and super, this and super, these both methods should be the first line of statement inside your constructor, right? So how now you will say that if this and super will be both should be the first line of a statement, then super is written by default and this I have written, then how can this possible to do both should be the first line of statement? No, if you have written this, then it will override and finish the super, right? So these are some rules you need to remember. So here if I have written this, then super is gone. Okay, so this means call the constructor with no parameter inside same class, so it will call the default constructor. Now it will default constructor, I will provide this one. Then now I have to remove this just because there will be a recursion. So I hope Sumit has completed recursion yesterday or okay. So now I will call, and is anyone wants to try what will be the output? Anyone? Just try. Don't think. Hridesh, do you want to try this time? This is not audible.
She asked you to full screen.
Okay, okay. Am I audible? No. Hridesh, you are not audible. Uh, okay.
We are able to
Okay. Okay. Lakshmi, let me ask some. I know that you got the things, but let me take that everybody the same pace so that I can move forward. I understand. Okay, somebody else, because this is not audible. So somebody else wants to try, like Bhaskar. Bhaskar is also not. Maybe Prajakta. Guys, am I audible? Lakshmi, am I audible? Okay, Prajakta. Okay. Okay, Prajakta. Say. Prajakta, unmute yourself and then you have to. Anybody wants to answer? Lakshmi?
yes, I can try. Can
Okay.
you go to the Eclipse?
Okay, okay.
Yeah. First of all, we will go to the class B and looking for the integer method. So it will go to the line number 11 and it will call the default constructor. That means it will go to the line number 6 and under line number 8 it is calling the super constructor. That means it will go to the class A with no parameter. So that means it is going to the line number 6 first, and now it is taking the this one. Then that means it will look for the string parameter with one, so it will go to the line number 11, and it will print the line number 13. That's what I know.
Only it will print line number 13.
No, after that, after line number 13, then it will print the line number 9.
Okay.
And again, I mean, maybe it recursively it will go back to the same
No,
kind
no,
of
no.
execution.
Why recursion, Lakshmi? There is nothing. Recursion is never performed. If there was recursion.
Not recursion, reverse. In the reverse way, whatever the way that flow
Oh,
we
oh,
came.
oh, okay, 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 okay. Now I got it. So
But actually, it is very confusing to me.
why you have given the answer very correct? So nothing is wrong.
The problem is I'm missing the control. I mean, it's only just two classes, right? If more classes are coming, maybe I'll lose it somewhere.
No, Lakshmi, you have to practice it a lot, right? So that's why I'm saying that complete. If you complete your assignments, then you will get. Once you practice it, you will never forget. I can say this. If you are able to answer now, you must be remembering it, right? Just because if you lose the practice, then what can I do? Just because we I have learned this same way, right? Practicing it, right? So once Sumit will be giving you assignments to give the answer related to this, once you will answering those assignments, this will be okay. Just remember, don't need to think anything extra. Just remember, super means super class constructor. This means this class constructor. Super is written by default in first line of statement inside every constructor, but this you have to write manually, and if you write this manually, then super is gone. But these are the rules you have to follow. You will be able to answer.
Yesterday, I'm doing the same kind of thing. I did some loop mistake or something. Some key memory issue came and my Eclipse has been crashed. I don't know what has happened.
It happens sometime, don't worry about that. So everybody, I am audible. Just because I have named some people but they didn't respond, that's why I have to went back to the Lakshmi. So I don't know if everybody don't want to answer, or I am not audible.
Yeah, you can proceed, Vandan.
Okay,
If anybody having question for me.
okay, okay, okay. So this was the constructor chaining. This we will need in future. And next thing is that this was the single level inheritance, right? Now I have to perform multi level inheritance. So suppose class A have two methods, class B have one method. So let me make the class C, which have one method, right? Same way constructor chain will be also increased. Okay, void M3, sorry, M4. Class C. Now this class C will be extending B. Now I'll make the object of class C, not class B. Right? Obj dot m2. You can see I have make the object of class C. Still I am able to call all the methods. M1 and M2 are present in class A, and class B is extending class A. So both M1, M2 and M3 is present in class B. So both M1, M2 and M3 is present in class B. I am calling class B. So class C, from class A I am calling class B. So these three methods are present in class B coming in class C. So you can see all these four methods I am able to call, right? M1, M2, M3, and M4. I am able to call all the methods, right? So you can see I can call all the methods M1, M2 and M3. Just remove the constructor chaining so it will be more clear, right? Just let me remove them first. Okay. You can see class A M1 method, class B M2 method, class B. Wait, there I have given some wrong messages. Just let me comment these methods first so you can understand then the class. Let me comment this as well, right? So now I'll comment all the messages inside constructor so there will be no confusion, so you'll be able to understand what's going. Oh sorry, this was the constructor. Okay, whatever internally it's calling the constructor, I have removed those messages. So now it will say that all the methods M1, M2 and M3, and for M3, M4 of class C, right? So it's calling the M1 method, M2 method, M3 method. M3 is present inside class B, right? And M1 and M2 are present in class A. Just because I have given the wrong message here, let me copy in the same way. I will show you, and then I will show you difference between these inheritances. Class P, right, and class C. Okay, now I'll run it. M1, M2, M3 and M4. Method name should be changed. M4, M3, can see M1, M2, M3 and M4. I made the object for class C only, just because through inheritance all the methods are coming in this class. Okay, now I'll do one thing. Here I will write extends A. If I will write extends A, so it will be extending only class A methods, right? M1 and M2, and class C has method M4, so it will be giving error for M3 just because there is no rule for M3. Just see it. So create method M3 in type C. Either you should create in type C or you have to comment this line, just because now this is the hierarchical inheritance. Class C is calling class A, class B is calling class A, right? And class A is the parent class. So you can understand the difference. And if I will extend the class B, I can write this line because class B has all these three methods and fourth method is present inside class C. So I hope this makes clear to all that what is the difference between hierarchical and the single level inheritance, right? Okay, now okay, now I will do one thing. Suppose now I'll be starting the overloading and overriding concept. So I hope that everything is clear to all. So let me make another package, otherwise there will be hodgepodge. Overloading, overriding. Same way I will give example. Class A, right? I am coming to overriding first, then I will be coming to overloading. This class is M1 method, M1 of class A. This has another method M2. There is a class B, which extends class A. Had present its own method M3. M3 of class B. Okay. So what is overloading and overriding? We have to understand first what is the polymorphism. Suppose there is a object and same object had multiple behavior, like last time I have watched a movie that latest released Amazon Prime, Abhishek Bachchan's multiple personality disorder, MPD. So there was a uh, he was a patient of this MPD, right? So same thing with object has this property that it's had this MPD problem, multiple personality disorder to object. Why I am saying this? Because same object behaves differently, right? So suppose there is a object for class B, right? But same object for class B behaves differently many times. Like sometimes it, I'll be coming to the overloading and overriding part, that static and the dynamic, compile and runtime polymorphism. But first need to understand theoretically what is the polymorphism. So just go Bookie's example is poly plus morph many in forms, but this is not sufficient to learn Selenium, right? So if you want to go through it, so same objects behave differently, but object will not behave differently by its own. I have to give that instructions to that object, right? If I will not be giving that instructions, how will everything we have to write? So sometimes it adds two arguments, two parameters, two integer values. Sometimes it adds three integer values. Sometimes, but this is just a small example, bookish example. But real life we are not going to add these two numbers, right? So in real life I have to write my method in a way that I can use it multiply, then I have to build that logic, right? So suppose I, from switch case I pass three elements, so it will be at 3 or 4. So same thing. So what is the polymorphism? If the object behaves differently, same object behaves differently multiple times, multiple behaviors to an object, this is the polymorphism, right? So on runtime it behavior is different, on compile time for overloading behavior, for static method hiding its behavior is different. just what static method I have to write, that I will be coming to that part, but just need to understand theoretically what is the polymorphism, because this overloading and overriding are the part of the polymorphism. So same object behaves differently for each instruction, right? This is the polymorphism. So now I am coming to the first part of the polymorphism, overriding, right? So what is overriding? Overriding, when a class, suppose there is a class A which has method m1 and m2, right, and there is a class B which has method m3, right. So if class B is extending class A, now class A is not satisfied with the implementation of the class A, right. Class B says, okay, I am getting this method m1 and m2, but I want to write my own code. I want to perform, I want to give some new instructions. Whatever instructions you have given to this method, it's okay for me. I want to add some new instructions, or I want to remove your instructions, but I need this method because some part of this code I need and some part of this code I need to remove. So what I can do, I can do this overriding. So method overriding, it will write its own implementation. Class B will write implementation by its own. So this is the method overriding. Why overriding? If the class is not satisfied, don't just go for the overriding a method. First understand, if I need it, I will perform it. Okay.
Bharat, sorry to disturb you. Hope you are hearing the Eclipse, right? But we are seeing the other window.
No. I am showing you that window only. Just because I was not going through with the code, I wanted to see if there is some messages in this. If I was in a flow, that's why I am not going back. Well, you are able to understand what I am trying to say about the overriding and polymorphism. Okay. Okay. So class B now this time is not satisfied. Suppose, but I am showing you this example, just one line of code written over here, but if you will understand the concept, you will be able to write for hundreds line of code, right. So just first understand the concept, don't go for directly writing hundreds line of code. Okay. So here class B m3 method. Now this m1 and m2 are present in class B, right, because I have performed the inheritance. So these m1 and m2 are present over here. Okay. So now class B says I want to write implementation for method m1. And suppose method m1 modified in class A, class B, sorry, right. So method m1 is modified in class A. Now let me write a main method for it. Sorry, main class for it. My main class will have main method. B object is equal to new P. Let me call object dot m1. I will call it, you can see method m1 is modified in class B, right. So just because this was not satisfied, and first of this I want to ask, everybody got understand? So then I will add some new points to it. Guys, only Lakshmi is interacting, else nobody is, and Hirdesh is replying, but else nobody is taking the interest to reply and not making the session interactive. Okay. So
Sorry, Nandan, this Bhaskar here. I was
Okay, okay, oh, Bhaskar, I can
But
understand.
I understand the concept of inheritance,
Okay, okay,
simple and compound.
okay, okay. So here I have to, one more point I want to add. Suppose I will write at the rate override here. What it means? It means that this m1 is present inside its superclass and we are overriding this. It means, right? It means that method m1 is present inside superclass and we are overriding this. Suppose I try to write for this class, this method as well. What it will say? Create m3 in superclass type A. So it means if you are writing at the rate override, then it means you are overriding a method, and you can only override a method when it will be present inside its superclass.
Vandan, Lakshmi here.
Yeah.
So let's say like in the fifth line or whatever the tenth line, if we haven't written the override also, we got the output as method m1 modified in the class 3. That means implicitly fifth line is present, right? When the in the super class that method is there.
No, 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 no. It's not present. It if you write it, you are telling the your compiler that I am overriding this method, right? Why I write this?
What will happen? Because I mean, before writing the fifth line itself, we have done the one
Okay,
running of the class. Yeah.
okay. So if
What is
I
the output difference between
output,
commenting 5 and before commenting 5?
look Lakshmi, what happens if I will not write this override? It, this is
Okay.
a annotation, right? And if I will not write this, it's okay. Java is so much powerful, it will understand that you are overriding a method, right? But it may be an overridden method or it may not be an overridden method. Likewise here, if I have not given some instructions to m3 method, it is considering it as a new method, right? But if you will write this at the rate override, this means that you are overriding a method, and this is compulsory that you are overriding a method. And if you are not overriding this method, then it will be throwing you in an error, just because it will saying that this method is not present in super type and you are telling me that I am overriding. So this is the case, right? So these are the standards. So if you are overriding method, provide this annotation so that other people can understand that you are overriding this method.
Oh, okay. That means for reviewing or for understanding purpose, we just need to explain them when we are overriding.
Yeah, not 400, these is the standards of Java you have to follow. So over at, if you are using at the rate override notation, sorry, so if you are using that the rate override notation, first you are following the standards of Java. Second thing, you are forcing that you are overriding this method, right? So this is the rule, that if you are using override, you have to override a method, right? You cannot use this for all methods until you are not this is also okay. But suppose if I am not using using this and I give this class B to you, will anytime you will be able to understand this method is overridden? You will ever never think that this method was overridden, right? Just because but if I'll write like this, you will, okay, this is overriding a method, and you will be going to that place and compiling that method, that what was written to it and what I have modified this to this method. But at the rate override says that you are overriding method, and if you are not overriding, that it means an error. So I hope it is clear. Is it clear to go? Just run program without no, no, output will be same in this, just because Java will understand it, uh, but your colleague will never understand that this method was overridden, right? So and if I'll not using then also the output will same. I hope this rule is clear to all, that at the rate override means that you are overriding a method.
So Vandan, in case, intentionally, if I want to access the M1 in the A means I just need to call it as super or somewhere, right? Otherwise, can I get it in any other way?
Can you repeat your question?
So in the class A also M1 method is there, right? Super class also.
Okay.
So if I want to access it from the main method, uh, how do I will get it? Because every since the method override is happening right in the class B, so how to access this one? Do we need to use the super there?
You cannot
How
use
to get it?
first of all, super is not for the methods, super is only for the constructors, so don't be
Oh,
confused.
fine.
Second thing is that if you want to use this method, this
Yeah.
parent class method, then you have two ways. Either you have to perform the you have to directly call this class, right, and call this class method, right, or you don't need to perform inheritance over here if you don't use, right. So suppose you have such methods, you have such need, as per the need you can do that. If you are needing the super class, suppose thousands of class will be extending. So I am making a game and I have five type of players in that game. So five type classes will be there which will be extending class A. So you can perform this the your you can directly call this class A, don't need to call, right, this class. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, suppose I write like this, just A is equal to B. What it means? A dot M1, A dot M2. What it means? This we are using parent class, reference for the parent class, and object for the child class. Now the rule are changed, but I don't want it now, but just because Lakshmi has asked something, that's why this is upcasting, so you can follow this. Let me explain it first. What it means, it will find this M1 method, it will go to the parent class first, right, just because we have passed the reference for the parent class. Class A is the parent, right, and whatever class is extending classes will be the child. This is the rule, thumb rule of Java. Okay, so okay, this will be going to class A because we have passed the reference for class A. Okay, and we have passed the object for class B, so this will be going class A first and try to find out the method M1, right. Will come here and find out the M1. It will find, okay, this M1 method is present in class A, right. Now it will be going to class B, it will find out the M1 method. Okay, this method is present in B also, this will print this B class method, right.
That means here also overriding is happening.
Wait. So this means that it will find this M1 method in class B, and there is a rule: if this method is not present in class B, then it will print for class A. You can see there is no error. If I was using through B is equal to new B, this was be giving error. If this first, but it will print this child class, right. Suppose, second thing, but if this method is not present in class B, class A, this M1 is not present in class A, I have removed the @ override, so it should consider it as a new method, just because we are giving object for class B, so all the methods in class B, but no, it will go and find parent. If the parent class doesn't have the same method, then it will not going to call that child class method. If the parent class have that method, it will call the child class method. Why this? Why that? What's the rule for it? If I am the so
On the, sorry to cut you. So in the line 10 now it is showing some error, right? So is that mean like because of we are commenting the method on the
yeah,
class
yeah, 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 yeah. Wait, Lakshmi. Let me finish first, then I'll answer all your questions. So what is there? Actually, what happens? Suppose I am the parent class, right? And I have four methods. I am the parent class A and I have four methods, and I want that my child should not write its own new methods, right? My child should not write its own new methods. Whatever methods I am writing, either my child is able to override that, my child should be able to override it, or use my own methods, but you will not write your own methods, right? You can override four methods I have written, you can use them, or you can override them, write your own logic inside those methods, but you cannot you can not write a new method in your class. In that case, we have to pass the reference for the parent class and object for the child class. This is upcasting in Java. Okay, so here I have m1 present in class A, m1 present in class B, right? So you can see that now you cannot say that this m3 is present here. You cannot write a new method for its own written methods, right? So m1 is present here, and m1 should be present in parent, right? M1 should be present in parent. So don't be confused in methods. M2 was okay, M2 is written over here. A dot M2. Okay. So whatever methods you are calling through upcasting, you will be able to call only those methods which are present in parent, and if that are present in child, it will call child class method, but those methods should be present on parent class, right? Is it clear? Now you can ask your questions, Lakshmi.
no, I'm good now.
Okay, so okay, if mentioned method is not there in child, then it will access A. Yeah, this if method is not present in child, then it will access parent method, but if method is not in parent, then it will throwing an error, right? So it should be present inside the parent class. This is upcasting. So suppose I have four methods, I am the parent class, I don't want my child class to write one new method, then it but don't be confused that m3 is written over here and m3 is written over here, and you are saying that you cannot write. You can write new methods, but you cannot use it. So if you cannot use it, no uses for you, other class can use it if they are not performing the upcasting, right? Other class use it, so why to restrict other people's, right? I want to restrict someone, so I will restrict only someone, right? Everybody I don't want to restrict, that's why write it, but you cannot use it, so that there is nothing mean of pretend to it, right? So that's why first sometimes people catch the word, so their confusion gets, that's why I have said that. Okay, so this was the overriding, inheritance, multi-level, single and hierarchical. Multiple inheritance is not supported in Java. Why? Just because there is a constructor chaining. Let me what is constructor chaining? Let me show in Notepad. Class, oh, Notepad. Class A, right? Class A will have super, because super is only for the constructor, super and this, right? Don't use for the methods, otherwise problem. class A have super method, super class A constructor has super, B will have super, C extends A comma B. What is multiple inheritance? If a class extends multiple classes, that's multiple inheritance, right? Now there is a super written over this class in constructor of class C, super written. Now tell me which class super constructor it should call, because super can call only one constructor. There is a confusion. So this is the constructor chaining problem in multiple inheritance in Java. That's why it's not supported, right? Second one is method, you can say diamond problem. What is diamond problem? Class A has performed M1 method. Void M1. That is typo. I hope you understand. Class B have also M1 method. No one can stop this. Now this class C extending A and calling M1. Suppose this class has main method. Main method, right? Public static void main. Now this making object for class B, right? Class C. Class C is extending AV, object is equal to new C, now calling M1 object dot M1. Now tell me which class M1 method, this M1 has written some other logic. Sorry guys, M1 has written some class A has written logic for M1 some other, like it has written this, and class B have same M1 method, right? It has written this. Now which logic it should invoke, which method it should invoke? So it's again confused. So there is a diamond problem. So diamond problem, you can see that A and B are classes and class C is trying to, that's why there is diamond type of shape. I will show sometime. So that's why this will called as diamond problem, or we can say ambiguity problem. This is confused which class M1 method is to invoke, because both are different in case of classes, right? So every class A and B has different logic for, so it is confused. I hope these two problems are in present in Java in the case of multiple inheritance. That's why multiple inheritance is not supported in Java. So I hope is it clear? It is clear to all. So that's why I'm not covering that part. So okay. So today I have covered the single level, multi-level, hierarchical inheritances, overriding, and the constructor chaining with the superclass, and this why multiple inheritance is not supported. So these are some important topics that we need to cover. Multiple inheritance in Java is supported through interface. So next week I will be covering abstract class interface encapsulation, and will be starting the collection part.
Okay. Yeah, and you, I think if it is done, I like to ask a question regarding that recorded session.